opportunity to speak to you all today. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to go into what we plan to do with Mr. CEO, how we can direct him to trade in the best way possible for the success of this fine company. Okay, moving forward, I'm going to share my screen. Here it is. And remember, we have, this is very familiar to all our fellow traders. This is the trade ledger. Each trade is listed here, and so on and so forth. We can just, it's endless. It keeps on going down, infinite a number of trades that we can take. We give Mr. CEO a lot of freedom in decision making throughout the day. He's Mr. CEO is I've been at multiple companies as a CFO, trying to direct the traders into profitable territory, and I've been successful with that, and that's why I've been hired on, and I do take whatever. Mr. CEO, I know, is unhappy with my compensation, but I must point out that he is one of the most difficult clients that I've had to work with. I just wanted to mention this, and this is not bad-mouthing him. I'm just pointing out observations. He takes a lot of risk, and he's quite the opposite of a risk manager as myself. He's not very risk averse at all. He is quite the daredevil, you'd say. And I do want to promote that. I know that there is reward to substantial risk that he takes, and I have seen it, and which is what I'm trying to push his energy in the right direction. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. So I give him a lot of freedom during the day to make the trades that he wants to make. Ultimately, the only thing that doesn't change right now is how much money he can risk on the trade. So remember, burger is the risk. It's a half, a single, a double, or a triple. You don't see quadruple burgers out there, and you don't see quadruple trades. You shouldn't see them. You should see only triple. That's the maximum size you can have on a trade, is a triple, okay? Half is half size, of course. Single is single size. Keep it in the singles if you can. But as you can see, Mr. CEO does play around with this quite a bit, and I have given him that flexibility to use this tool to scale up or scale down, depending on his confidence in the trade. And I understand that, but sometimes he triples the trade, not that he's confident in it, but rather because he wants to make it back. He had lost. Look, he lost 30 apples, he lost 5, and then this next trade, he went triple. And the next many trades, he went triple and continued to lose. And I just want to go out and say that I'm getting very, very, very close to locking up his flexibility that I offered him, because he's abusing this flexibility. And I don't want him to triple the trades when he's unhappy. It should be tripled only when you think that the zone will work, and maybe a smaller risk reward to promote win rate. Look, we need win rate, and as a company, we need win rate. So it's just quite frustrating as a CFO that he doesn't actually listen to my commentary, and I think that he's a little bit of rogue, and it's really hard to direct that as your CFO. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to change his trading. I'm actually going to do less instead of more. I think that if you restrain this man, this Mr. CEO, more, he will push back and revolt and rebel more, and then there will be more substantial damage to our company. So what we're going to do is going to ease off on the rules on this Mr. CEO and let him trade throughout the day. The only rules that I will have are the most important rules for the sustainability of this company. The rules are as follows: a daily risk stop loss and a daily reward target. So each trade has a risk and reward, a 1-to-1, a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1. I'm risking 8.3 apples for possible 8.6. We have a risk reward. Mr. CEO is good at that. He's good at taking that 8.3 risk. He doesn't mess with it. He takes the stop loss. And I applaud him for that. That's really good, and that's something that I'm happy to see in a fellow trader. Okay, that's something that I can direct as a risk manager. I can direct him because he actually follows that rule. He's risking 8 to make 8. That makes sense. Why not do the exact same thing on a day? So that was the trade, went 8 or 8, and then the day I'd like him to be able to risk 80 on the day to make 20, or 40 on the day to make 20, whatever it is, 20 on the day to make 20. That means each day is compartmentalized as a trade in and of itself. Now, this is what I think is best for Mr. CEO. So this is what I put on his desk. I never actually got his answer, but I'm just giving this memo out to the company that we have no rules. Essentially, the rules are that the risk and reward on the day has a daily risk and reward. It is treated as a trade, and I'm giving him plenty of room to make his reward, his target. And I just want to say that having a risk of 80 to make a possible reward of 20 is doable, because it's more likely to hit 20 than 80. And if he can consistently make 20 apples with a risk of 80, it's okay, because if at a certain point we do lose and hit negative 80 apples on a day, that's 4 trades. That's 4 days of hitting 20. And because our offense is consistently hitting 20, I reckon that Mr. CEO will be able to take that daily loss, to actually swallow it, because there has been multiple issues in this company. That's why we had to let go a number of employees, because Mr. CEO could not take that daily loss. He couldn't swallow it. He still traded after that daily loss. And I think it's because he didn't have it organized as a risk and reward. It's a simple trade. He knows trading. He is a trader. I have faith that he's a trader. He's just one of the most rogue traders that I have ever encountered. Now, how to fix him is to be loose on him. Let him do his magic. Now, the only rules that he must abide by is this daily risk and daily reward. It's that simple. And I think that he can adhere to it now, because it's a trade to him. I packaged it as a trade to him. He doesn't know any different. It just happens to be a longer trade. It's a day. It's a day. He's risking 80 apples to make 20 apples today. and that's his trade. And I do think that he will abide by it. I have faith that he will. And I think that we will manage our way into profitable territory next month. And I do think that is good for the company because we have a very high adherence rate. Mr. CEO adheres to his targets 100%. He adheres to 20 apples. Now, I do want him, if he can hit 20 apples, he's done trading on the day. And he actually is done. And that is one good thing that our CEO has. He actually adheres to daily gain limits. That's the target on the day. So if we have that target small, we can accumulate wins on the day to essentially hold off and float when the storm hits and we hit a big loss on the day. And I do think that he can take that loss. He can do it because he knows that he can make 20 the next day because he just did it the day before, you know? So that's what we're going to do. That's what our plan is. I put it on Mr. CEO's desk. I haven't heard anything back from him yet, but I am written in contract that I can write these memos. He's going to get this as well. I don't know what he's doing, but
get used to. But there's no man as terrified as the man who stands to lose you. Oh, I hope I don't lose you. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Oh, please.
all right, deuces.